Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get together live here on Facebook, where we take a look at your comments, ideas, and suggestions about Puerto Vallarta, our city that we call home. We take a look at headlines from Puerto Vallarta, from our state, Jalisco, from our country, Mexico, and we try to connect the dots so that we can end up having a more connected, more fulfilling life here in Puerto Vallarta as a community of English-speaking locals. Today is Wednesday, August 10th, and as always, it is a pleasure to get together with all of you. It is great to see you, and particularly those of you that are joining us for the first time. You can always let us know that you're new by writing the word new in your comment, and we'll be so happy to give you a nice little welcome. And if you're watching on YouTube during the rebroadcast, we love you too. We don't have live commenting on YouTube, but we still appreciate very, very much the fact that you like our broadcasts and that you thumbs up our videos. Today, as it turns out, we don't have a lot of news, which is good luck because we have a walking tour. We finally made it to Colonia Buenos Aires, and that's what we're going to see later on today. But first, a few headlines. And of course, I don't want to get started without letting you know, as always, if there's something on your mind that is truly important and you want to make sure that we talk about it during the broadcast, please add a capital letter Q to it, and we will be so very happy to take a look at your comment or question. So let's get started. Well, we have good news for the nice folks in Palmar de Aramara. City Hall's Public Works Director, Eliu Sanchez Rodriguez, informed that the work involved repaving streets in Colonia Palmar de Aramara, along with improving the water and drainage work there, will be concluded in 3 months. So there you have it. Local health authorities have announced the arrival of Pfizer vaccines corresponding to the second shot for teenagers from 12 to 17. And these are available as of today and until supplies run out. And we also learned that second pediatric shots for children 5 to 11 are coming in 2 weeks. But in the meantime, if you are a teenager or have a teenager in need of a second shot, they are available as of today in several health centers throughout Puerto Vallarta. They are listed in this article, and also locations in Tomatlán, Mascota, Talpa de Allende, and San Sebastián del Oeste. Meanwhile, and in case you need one, we learned that free COVID testing continues to take place in Parque Hidalgo. They started this week on the 8th, and they will continue until Friday. This is available from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Last but not least, here's something that I didn't know. According to Luis Enrique Hurtado, who oversees the Department of Permits and Licensing for the city, there are approximately 1,500 street vendors out there with permits. And the city grants as many as 20 additional such permits every month, as many as 20. He also mentioned that what is known as comercio informal or informal commerce, of course, he's referring to the street vendors, the informal commerce in Puerto Vallarta is a growing problem and a hot topic among the different chambers of commerce here in the city. It is a complicated one that we are not going to get into detail about today because we have other things planned. But I have weather to share with you. Let's see. The phrase dog days of summer was coined by Bob Barker as part of a marketing effort to get you to spay or neuter your pets. Okay, that's good to know. What's good to know is that we are enjoying 26 degrees right now. Feels like 30, and rightly so. Humidity is at 100% right now. And for those of you that read Fahrenheit, Fahrenheit temperature right now is 79 degrees. Our weather forecast for today says that we will have possible light rain starting in the afternoon with a high of 31 and a low of 25. And then tomorrow, Thursday, rain starting in the afternoon with a high of 31 and a low of 25. And then Friday, again, rain starting in the afternoon with a high of 31 and a low of 24. And this is what we have as of right now. And now I have something that is very funny to me. I hope it is just as funny to you. Let me set this up. Let's assume that you just had a baby and you are getting ready to go and register your baby at the civil registry of your city. And you have decided on specific names that you want to call your name. Your child. Well, it turns out that there are a number of names that are forbidden in Mexico Civil Registry. So I'm going to share some of these names. Some of these you will find familiar, and some of these are old names that nobody should call their children, and some of these are just don't make any sense to me. For example, and I know I'm going to block the names. Wherever I go, I'm going to block the names. So maybe I should just block the names. But some of the names that we have is aceituno, which is a male, aceituna, which is an olive. You shall not name your child Batman or Burger King or Harry Potter or Hermione. Let's see. You cannot call your child Hitler. You cannot call your child Terminator. Or Rolling Stone, or RoboCop, or Rambo, or Rocky, or James Bond. You can also not call your child calzón, which means underwear, cara la limpio, which means I cleaned your face. You cannot call your child cesárea. You cannot call your child circumcision. You cannot call your child delgadina, which means skinny-ish. You cannot call your child espinaca, which means spinach, or email, or Facebook, or Lady Di, or James Bond, or Usnavi, which is what that character from that musical movie, I forget the name, In the Heights. The main character's name is Usnavi, and he thought that was a cool name to have. He didn't realize that what the words actually meant to say, the letters meant to say is U.S. Navy. You cannot call your child Virgin or Twitter. So there you have it. Here are just some names that I thought you might want to know in case you decided to go register your newborn. Don't use these names. And now it's time to walk. And again, as I told you on Monday, our weekend turned out to be very serendipitous because A, we had a wonderful walk. B, we connected with a wonderful artist, as you saw yesterday. And last but not least, we finally had a chance to go and explore a colonia that was on my list. And I tell you, the nice folks that are living in Buenos Aires are keeping their neighborhood a secret. What a cute little colonia that was. Let's take a look. Hello. We are at the corner of Álamo and Manantial Streets in Colonia Buenos Aires. And today we are taking our first walk ever up this neighborhood. Well, that's not true. I've only been to Buenos Aires once before, and it was a million years ago. So we're going to see what this colonia is all about. And maybe take a look at some real estate. I'm walking with my friends Eric and Tommy, who are standing behind me. Say hi to the camera. Hola. And they're interested in checking out some real estate. Buenos días. Are you sure this is the street we're supposed to go through and that's not Amapas?
I think that might be Amapas.
Let's go there.
There's the turns. Check.
Let's find out. So, we know a few people that live in this neighborhood. The only one time that I've ever been in this neighborhood before was a million years ago when I came to visit Los Bambinos, the group of siblings that perform in town. And this, my friend, is Amapa Street. Check it out. So your property must be somewhere around here.
Up the street. Pretty house. Pretty street.
That's a pretty house. And there's a bunch of pretty houses here. Casa de los Amigos, this one is called. Very quiet. Buenos días.
Hola, buenos días.
¿Cómo le va?
Muy bien, ¿ustedes?
Pues aquí explorando,
¿Así?
conociendo su colonia.
No, está bien, aquí la escuela está bonita, ¿eh?
Muchas gracias. Que tenga un buen día.
Hágale, bien.
And of course we are walking uphill,
Oh, how fun.
which is fine. And everything, this cute little streets that are more private. And everything is so lush and green because of the rain. And it was quiet. This side of the colonia was quiet. And that's the house my friends came to look at, so I just kept talking for a little while. While Eric and Tommy looked at the facade of a property that they found on sale at one of the online databases. And I think it is a great way to get to see a neighborhood. You know, if you're interested in buying property, the best way to know if you're going to like it is to walk the neighborhood. Check out this tiny itty bitty house. It is just a little corner, at least from this side. How curious is that? Yeah, it's construction in progress. Well, like many Mexican neighborhoods, you're bound to find a combination of older homes and some older homes that have clearly received some TLC, and then newer constructions. We are now walking parallel to Manantial Street along another one of the little streets here. Buenos días. Oh, that's the street with the plazas. Can we take a quick look at it?
Of course.
When I was looking, buenos días. When I was looking at the map on Google, okay, it's time for church. When I was looking at the map on Google, I noticed this big plaza that I'm intrigued about. Now, this church must have been a more ambitious project because there's a whole second story that has not been built. But let's take a look. Wow, this is a cute neighborhood. Buenos días. Buen día. So check it out. This is what seems to have been a very basic church that they want to expand and make it into a bigger church. And then there's this very cute plaza.
And huge.
Let's take a look. Okay, this is definitely sweet because it's quiet, it's peaceful. There's this kiosk here. There's even a horse all the way down there that is just chilling. And then there's this circular or semicircular stage where one could probably perform something. I wonder if it gets used frequently, but it is absolutely sweet. Nice, no?
Yeah. She invited us in.
To the church?
Yeah. Time for service.
And it was cloudy and it was early.
Eric and Tommy, of course, I met because they reached out to me through Coffee and Headlines. And it's amazing how in the most unexpected way you can find true friends. And they are true friends. Okay, so let's take a look. Oh my goodness, there's a doggy and a horsey. I am compelled to visit.
Of course I am. So, Marie, now I'm curious, since you live there, is the plaza ever used for festivals or festivities? Please feel free to let us know of your experience.
So there's some park
you were
gym
there.
equipment that seems to be quite functional, although basic. And then there's this horse that is just chilling. Hey, horsey. So this horse is just standing here, unleashed. And no, I'm not going to get any closer. But how many times can you say that you found a horse just chilling on his own in a public park?
And he was scratching his legs the way I scratch my legs when I feel mosquito going at him. Just cute park. Oh, Ruby, thank you for the tip, Suzanne.
Shall we go back to the upper street?
Sure.
Down here, right behind those arches, is the main road that I usually walk down when I'm heading to Moro Paraíso and other points past Paso Ancho. But today, we are intrigued about this cute little neighborhood. So we're going to keep walking through the neighborhood.
Dice el señor el otro día.
Buenos días.
Buenos días.
¿Qué están haciendo?
Somos monaguillas.
¿Son monaguillas?
Sí.
¿Y ya va a empezar la misa?
Sí.
¿Y qué hace una monaguilla?
Le lleva todas las cosas al padre.
Ah, muy bien. Que tengan una buena misa.
Igualmente.
Bye. What do you call in English the little priest helpers?
Acolytes.
What?
Acolytes.
Acolytes?
They like the candles and all that?
Do you know the Spanish word for that?
No.
Monaguillos.
Monaguillos.
So those two girls,
Hola.
buenos días, are the monaguillas. Buenos días. Okay, so we've climbed up again to what I now have discovered. This is Paraíso Street. There's a cute little eatery right here. Gracias.
Buenos dias.
Buen día. Hola.
Wow, Lisa knows
Have
the
you
outfit
noticed the big,
girls.
beautiful green mountain back there? It is just stunning. So close to nature. Hola, hola.
And as we head south, a generous neighbor is sharing his music collection for everyone to enjoy.
Check out this house in the corner. Oh, and I think this is our... No, there's another street.
Okay.
There's still another block up there. I saw on the map. We're not going to explore it today, but one can actually get closer to the mountain if one chooses to. And we may have to block the audio for this part of the tour because YouTube may not like me playing all that music in the background. We'll see how it goes. And yes, I suppose this is an issue in some neighborhoods. If you happen to have a neighbor that enjoys playing the music out loud for everybody else to enjoy, that may not be for everyone. But see, looking up here, you can see how there's still another road that connects, and it's closer to the mountains. But we're going to take a right here, and we're going to head back to Manantial Street so we can continue our way towards Paso Ancho. And look at this beautiful house. Familia Morales, it says, from Houston, Texas. Buen día. Now, this is quintessential neighborhood. There's a loudspeaker truck coming by selling something. Actually, they're buying old rusty furniture and old rusty appliances. And there's, of course, the absolutely essential neighborhood store. Buen día.
Buen día.
Lots of generous people sharing their music with everybody else, which is something we love sometimes and sometimes not so much. Oh, Michael, I totally agree with your long comment.
And we are now just half a block away from Manantial Street, which brings us back to the main road. As you can see, Colonia Buenos Aires is not very large, but it is very cute. And of course, it is the first colonia on this side of the Libramiento. So it will be quite understandable that more people will become intrigued about this neighborhood as we move forward. So, this is our quick and dirty. Buenos días. ¿Qué está preparando?
Estoy cocinando coyules.
Coyules.
Poquitos con miel.
Ah, qué bonito.
Sí.
Qué bien.
Y pepinillos platánicos también.
Muy bien, gracias. I'm not even going to try to translate that. I'm going to have to look it up. But he said he's making coyules. I'm not sure what those are. With honey. So I guess that's part of my homework. So, this is it. I'm signing off. We're signing off. Are you guys saying goodbye? Are you guys saying goodbye?
Adios.
So, goodbye, and that's it. Ciao.
So there you have it. I really, really enjoyed that walking tour. Maybe it is because we hadn't gone out walking in a while. Maybe it is because I was with my dear friends Eric and Tommy. And maybe it was the Colonia itself. I found it really charming. I never lived there, so I don't know if it's safe or if it's too loud at night, or when it rains, it gets strange and yucky because of all the water coming down from the mountain. But it was definitely, definitely a beautiful walk. And now let's take a look at some of your comments this morning. I love your good mornings as always, as I see that you are all over the place, and that is a good thing. This is beautiful. Bill is in his new home, Versalles. That's good to hear. Neighbor. And Marcia is in El Cerro. Do do dee do 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 dee do dee do. Aha. Ooh, Albert is in the air. Greetings from 35,000 feet over Carson City, Nevada, flying to PV. Wonderful. Da 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 dee, da da. Ooh, I have my fingers crossed for you, Sage, and I will await some important news. Please keep us posted. Let's see. Michael wonders if some of the names that we mentioned in the civil registry are trademarked or registered in any way. I wonder the same thing. Not that I would want to call my child Terminator or anything, but yeah, imagine imagine the cruelty of your parents wanting to call you Yahoo. I mean, who would call their child Yahoo, or some of those names? Let's see, what else do we have? Oh, and then Alan, being snarky at me, thought that my friends just wanted to watch my booty. Well, let me tell you, Alan, there is an expression here in Mexico when somebody has a flat butt, like I have no butt. I mean, I was born with other terms, but I have no butt. But here in Mexico, we describe people that have no butts as paleteros en bajada, which means, all those guys that are pushing their ice cream and frozen popsicle in little carts around the street. Well, imagine that you're going downhill and you're pushing your street. Or imagine that you're leaving La Comer and on a downstairs electric escalator chingadera that you go down to the parking lot with your shopping cart. What happens to your butt? It disappears. So I have nalgas de paletero en parada, and proudly so. Let's see. Nothing to look at, really. Somewhere along the lines, I saw a comment about the Colonia having a nice festival around the end of October. Here it is. San Judas, the end of October. San Judas seems to be the patron saint of the Colonia, and he gets celebrated in the month of October. So maybe the month of October, while the patron saint parties are going on in the Colonia, would be a good time to go back and take another look at the people having fun. I'm certainly going to think about that. Let's see. And Lisa knew one of the girls that I talked to. This is so sweet. I love it. Michael liked the tour. And again, Michael, I hear you as far as the funds are concerned, but I can only imagine, and I think I'm trying to be nice here. The city must have to make so many different choices and difficult ones when it comes to deciding where to allocate funds and what project is next and which neighbors are complaining the most or the least. But you're right. I mean, that whole neighborhood seemed like a nice neighborhood to preserve. So I surely hope that there is a good neighborhood association in place and that they're taking good care of their land, because it is beautiful out there, so close to the city and so close to nature as well. Um, Luisa says, I read somewhere that saying Buenos Dias keeps you young, so I do it all the time. Well, it hasn't kept me young, Luisa, but it has certainly kept me happy. And it's something that I always do whenever I'm out on the streets. I always say hello to people. Sometimes they look at you funny. And sometimes when they don't speak Spanish, they mumble things that are really fun and that I wish I could collect, actually. Let's see what else. Da 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 da. Ba dum bum bum. Sage says, I will have to explore the place with my husband. Well, Sage, I believe it or not, I think about people like you when we do our features in here in Coffee and Headlines. And it's funny because we have talked about Paso Ancho and Moro Paraíso a million times. But then I thought to myself as I was preparing the photographs for Monday, there may be some people that are fairly new to the broadcast that are not aware of some of these things that we've talked about in the past. And you and your husband came to mind. If you guys enjoy walking and you want to get out of the city and you want to explore nature, headed in that general direction is a must. Let's see what else. Da 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 da. No, and I cannot even imagine who would choose to call their child Hitler. Crazy. Mark says, one of the first phrases I learned was pompis pompis, meaning nice butt. Is that true? Well, pompis is a sweet way to say pompas, and pompas are both, it's the pompas are the, Luna, when we blow on soap, what do we get? Bubbles. Okay, yes, pompas de jabón. The pompas are the bubbles when we blow soap bubbles. And pompas is also a way to call a nice big butt. So phrases like pompis pompis, it really depends on the delivery. If you are looking at a little baby or if you're playing with your little kitty or dog and you go pompis pompis, it's very cute. If you see a person on the street that has a nice butt and you go, oh pompis, then that might not be well received. So it's all in the delivery. Let's see what else. Stop teasing, Paco, says Sage. Teasing is part of what we do. Well, I don't call it teasing. What we call it is connecting. And that's what we get together for, to hopefully create better connections with our surroundings and new and wonderful connections with one another, like the wonderful connections I've been able to enjoy and celebrate with some of you and many more looking forward. As always, I thank you for joining me today. Tomorrow, Thursday, we still don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, but we'll be here, and I hope you are too. Have a great day.